Hello everyone, this is the Casual Boxing Fan. I just want to do a little video talking about the Anthony Joshua, the Andy Ruiz fight card, because it's a little disappointing. I've had a look at it, and I've looked at the card. The full card's been announced, and it is very disappointing. It's not a card that I expected. This is meant to be a spectacle. It's meant to be a big fight. But the undercard is lackluster. It is lacking flair, excitement, matchups. None of these matchups on this card are 50-50 fights. None of these fights on this card are hard matchups. I would say the hardest fight on this card would be maybe Josh Kelly v. Ray Robertson. And that's because what Ray Robertson showed against Edgar Klavauskas in his last fight getting the draw. That's what I would say the hardest fight would be. And that, to me, is disappointing. It is showing that Eddie Hearn talks such a big game, but has failed to deliver. I will point to the Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder card. I thought that was a good card. I thought that there were no real great matchups, but they were all heavyweight fights. And that's what people need to understand. When Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder, they were all heavyweight matchups on the card. So they were exciting. They were fresh. They were knockouts. And on this card, there's none of that. There's none of that excuses where it's all heavyweights are going to be hitting each other really hard and knocking each other out. I don't know if they didn't have the money, but is Callum Smith, Hassan Mdam going to be a slugfest? Is it going to be a knockout fest? I don't believe so. I feel that it's a fight that is not really going to reach that level of excitement. Is Tommy Corby, Chris Algieri going to be a knockout fest, slugfest? Maybe. But again, what are Chris Algieri and Tommy Corby going to go on to do in the lightweight division? Or in the super lightweight division where they're fighting at? Very little. What is, they obviously have Katie Taylor v. Delphine Pearson. It's a fight that is a female boxing match. I'm not really too interested in it because I don't watch female boxing, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of hype around it these days, but I have a lot of fights to watch as a male boxing fan. There's 64 world champions. I have to watch the contenders. I have to watch the interim titles. I have to watch a lot, so it's just something I can't get around to watching. I just don't have the time to. And then when I do my reviews, I have to go back and watch the contenders, and I have to go back and watch the champions and see what they do right and break it down. So it's just not logical for me to invest my time in female boxing when it's something that I'll barely be able to pay any attention to because male boxing dominates so much of my time. So that's a fight that doesn't really interest me. I don't think it will really interest a lot of boxing fans, because they're here to see heavyweight fights, here to see male boxing, not female boxing. I don't know why they put it on male cards. I just feel that it's unnecessary. But it's the way it is these days. So yeah, that's the card realistically. I know we're going to have Boatsy on it. Boatsy's also on it, but he's fighting, no one really that good. It's really a step back for Boatsy who he's fighting over his last two opponents. So yeah, it's a disappointing card. It's trash really. It's not very good. It's mismatches all over. There'll be a lot of disappointing. And if a lot of these fights go to the decision, that's even worse. Because you're wasting 12 rounds of mismatching. And sometimes that can happen in these sort of fights. And that's the problem. Obviously Andy Ruiz for Joshua, I think that's a good fight. I'll obviously be doing a breakdown of that fight. I like the fight. I'm a fan of Ruiz. I don't think he's as bad as people say. I am a fan of his. I've watched a few of his fights. I feel he does some good things. I feel like he does some things that will give Joshua trouble. But obviously Joshua is the favourite. And you would expect a fight where it's a late replacement, you would expect the card to be quite stacked to really show Joshua off in America, show off Matchroom in America, but it's not. What matchups on this card will appeal to an American fan? Absolutely none. And what matchups appeal to me as a British fight fan? Absolutely none. Because I don't care about Callum Smith for Hassan Mdam. I've made that clear. I think that's an easy win for Callum Smith. I feel he beat George Groves, who was considered the number one 168-pounder. And he's fighting Hassan Mdam, who is not even considered a top 10 middleweight. So that's an issue. That's a huge issue in my opinion. And then the rest of the fights are realistically prospects taking on journeyman / middle-level contenders. So yeah, the fight card's not very good. It's a disappointment. It's lackluster. It is showing of Eddie Hearn blissfulness and believing in Anthony Joshua's star power. I think Anthony Joshua is a star, but I do expect the fight card to be at least something entertaining, to be a spectacle, to be exciting, to build me up for that heavyweight clash, because I was very excited after the the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder card. It built me up with all those heavyweight fights. You know, George Royce's knockout of Tom Hanks. Travis Kaufman, the late knockout Ortiz got over Travis Kaufman in round 10, I think it was. I think Ariola was also in that card against Jean-Pierre Augustin. You know, that was also a pretty good slugfest. I remember that fight pretty clearly. So, that's the issue. Those are all memorable fights that stuck in the back of my mind. I liked them. I enjoyed them. I was very hyped for the Fury Wilder fight. Am I going to feel that same excitement, that same hype? What to these fights going into the Andy Ruiz and for Joshua where anything can happen? We've seen some knockouts. We've seen some big shots landed. Am I going to feel that excitement? And the answer is I don't think so. So that's the issue, and that's where I'm coming from. We look at Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder. Yeah, that undercard wasn't full of 50-50s, but it was full of exciting heavyweight fights. And that's the difference. Heavyweight fights are always going to be more exciting than the lower weight classes because they include big power and knockouts. And that's what fans are looking for. So they should have at least got maybe a Michael Hunter, a Takam, or a Chisora, even a David Price on this card. They should have got someone like that on this bill. I know people are probably thinking, well, they're not that good, but they're going to bring excitement, bring enjoyment to the card. The fans in the arena are going to be happy. I'm going to be happy because I'm seeing big knockouts. I don't really want to see mismatches between smaller men that can go 12 rounds. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. You know, we should be honest with ourselves as boxing fans and not just be satisfied with what we're given. We should be demanding more and better. Let's not forget we have to pay for this fight. It is £20. We have to stay up to 4 in the morning. There's a lot of sacrifices we have to make, and as fans, if we are paying for it, we should be given a product that we believe is to our standard. You know, this is not the opponent that was promised to us to be facing Anthony Joshua. That's not his fault, but we want better. We want to see a better undercard. We want to see better fights. You know, and I look at sometimes at the undercards that PBC put forward and they're quite good undercards, and they're on free TV. That's the issue I have. The PBC undercards are very good, but those are free TV. And that's an issue. So, I'd hope to see better undercard for Matchroom in the future. I really would. And hopefully the show's a success. I don't want to wish anyone any bad luck. But I'm disappointed in the undercard. But I'll watch it, of course I will. But I want to see better in the future because it's not really an undercard where I'm overly excited about. Anyway, thank you for listening. This was Casual Boxing Fan.